This is a strange new time. Strong lights. Why never do you fear? There is something more powerful. The heart and soul of all mankind. What builds you with your beams? A bridge to the stars. What offer you to God, O lights? America's devotion. This building actually is very interesting because it developed entirely a life and an iconography of its own. People have the mistaken impression that this building was built during the Great Depression. It wasn't. It was completed just after the stock market crash, so the Great Depression lay ahead. There were at one point over 5,000 workers working on the construction of this building. It was finished in just over 13 months. It's hard to believe that that could possibly happen. And it was so outrageous as a concept when it was built, and people think of it within the context of the present day. But even through the 1950s, 1960s, there was nothing even to approach the audacity of what had been done here. So when we take a step back and we look back at 1956, a lot of people consider the image of the Empire State Building bathed in light to be what occurred, and that's not true. It was dark. At night it was dark, the lights were off, there were no lights on the exterior, so when the freedom lights were put forth, that was incredibly new and novel, the fact that the technology existed to put these lights atop the building. And when you take a step back, that's what this building was all about from the get-go. It's lobby murals made out of gold and aluminum leaf, which we faithfully reproduced, didn't restore because they'd been obliterated. By the time the building was landmarked, the landmark was of a fluorescent lit ceiling under plastic lenses. But those original murals, which have been recreated, had the celestial sky in the form of gears and cogs. It was the mechanical age. The fact that it's aluminum leaf and not silver leaf. Silver was quite inexpensive. Aluminum was extremely expensive. Aluminum took tremendous amounts of energy to produce. It's what allowed for metal planes. The whole building was built on an assembly line format. So that's why it was done so quickly. It was completely innovative. So it stood to reason that in 1956 they put these most powerful lights that had ever been made at the top of the building to shoot to the sky. And by the way, it's fitting as well that we now have thousands of LED lights which play upon the building, from the building, all the way up to the top of the TV tower, which didn't even exist in 1956. So it's kind of an exciting time to reflect upon this poem and how it inspired, because it still inspires. I think it's an interesting poem in as much as it asks a series of questions, giving some personality, if you will, to the building responding. And the building is not very definitive. The building answers about mankind. The building answers about musket balls. It doesn't say British musket balls, doesn't say Dutch, doesn't say American. It talks about bone, talks about flint. It's very unpersonalized. It's very ecumenical. How does a postman on the Masai Mara take a postcard that's addressed to the building general manager and it just says Empire State Building, has a stamp to it, and deliver it at the exact same time as any other mail would come to the building? It's known around the world. It is an entry point in people's minds. How do you get to the Empire State Building? You go to New York, and there it is. Now, the interesting thing is, the Statue of Liberty stands watch over New York Harbor as a symbol, but you can't get there without getting on a boat, paying, and actually going to see it. Whereas the Empire State Building, you can just look out your plane's window. You can look out your train's window. You can look out your car's window. You can look out a taxi window. If you're on a PATH train, also a subway, you can see it. So I think in everybody's mind, this is this beacon, this image. And the lights at night now, I mean, the bottom line is we changed the lights at night because I went with our son's 9th grade class on a trip to China, looked at Hong Kong and Shanghai skyline, and I just said, we've got to up our game. I mean, if we are representing this universal image, we just don't cut it. So we changed the lights. And when we talk about it from the sense of really thinking about the fullness of life, it's also very interesting that here we are in an urban environment, and the author uses the word wheat. Well, he's talking about life. He's talking about existence. He's talking about what people do and how they do it. And candidly, I think the reference to wheat is, well, there's got to be nourishment. I mean, he didn't go into wheat, dairy, eggs, and beef, but you get the concept that there's more than just buildings. You get the concept that there's, there are the planes overhead, but they fly over everything. They fly over farmland, they fly over mountains and rivers, which he also references. And candidly, though you can see 75 miles from up here on a clear day, you're not seeing any mountains. You may see some hills out towards Delaware. So I think he's talking about the fullness of life. I mean, this building, as he says, rests on Manhattan's bedrock. Manhattan's bedrock is connected to the rest of the world. When you hear the 1812 overture in 1912, or in 2012, it has a different significance than the first time it was played. When people walk into this building, they now have a different expectation. They may have seen the lobby already online. They might have taken the virtual tour on our website. They might have seen the lights already on a YouTube or a Youku in China. They might have seen Alicia Keys or Zed. But there are certain, I think, universal truths. There's still this recognition of awe, of audacity. Nothing which has come since, and nothing which will come, will ever replace the audacity of the moment of the workers and the people who put this together. Technology of construction has changed. The element of wonder is far different when everything's being done by a crane instead of people standing on beams and catching hot rivets and putting it into the beams of the building to be built. So I think there's still that sense of wonder, but as with everything else in technology and information being more broadly available, maybe people have a little more expectation built in. But I think the wonder and awe is still there, and there is the same feeling. People standing up and walking around this 360 degrees in the middle of Manhattan at daytime or nighttime. We're closed 6 hours a day at the observatory. People come from 8 in the morning till 2 in the morning. 365 days a year. And I think they come to commune. I think they come to commune with nature. This building has become part of nature. They come to commune with the same striving sense that everybody around the world has.